The end of 2017 saw a new word added to the dictionary: youthquake. The term dramatically captures the huge surge that took place in June. Young people amassed at rallies and queued at polling stations. We helped deliver a massive blow to May's austerity government.
We proved that our generation is not apathetic. We're angry at injustice, we're hungry for radical change, because we know that the status quo is rotten. Under capitalism, the future offers only student debt, low pay, housing crisis and insecurity.
That's why we supported Corbyn's anti-austerity stand. His promises: free education, nationalisation, a £10 an hour minimum wage and council house building, enthused and inspired young people everywhere.
But upcoming local elections are not offering a straightforward choice between Jeremy Corbyn and Theresa May. In the majority of places, the Labour councillors contesting these elections are viciously opposed to Corbyn's policies. They are the people closing our libraries, our youth centres and forcing thousands of people onto the dole.
But these elections are nonetheless an opportunity to fight back against capitalist austerity. Potentially, the campaign we wage now can act to hasten the demise of our weak and divided Tory government. It can help strengthen Corbyn and build pressure on the pro-cuts, pro-uni fees Blairites. But this will only be possible if we use these elections to demand more of our elected councillors than the passing on of austerity.
Because it doesn't have to be like this. Councillors do have a choice, and they can choose not to wield the Tory axe. They can defend working class people, and they can act to build a movement to fight for the future of our generation.
There is not a single Labour council in Britain which lacks the resources in reserves and borrowing powers to pass a no-cuts budget and protect local services. If Labour councils stood up to the Tories and, refusing to do their dirty work, built a mass movement of working class and young people behind them, it could spell an end to our ailing Tory government in no time.
The lead up to these local elections has been marred in tragedy. The violence that has been witnessed on our streets of our major cities has been shocking. These are the real and human consequences of a society that offers many young people little hope. Disgustingly, youth services, many of which have the specific aim to prevent the horror of gun and knife crime, have been cut to the bone. In some areas, they have been all but destroyed. Every Labour councillor who voted for these cutbacks has played a role in acting life-saving services.
The Socialist Party says enough is enough, and that's why we're supporting the Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, or TUSC, of which we're part, selectively fielding candidates in local elections on the 3rd of May. But we're only standing against Blairite axe wielders, not anti-cuts Corbyn supporters.
Our candidates are working class fighters. They are trade unionists, student activists and community campaigners.
I'll be standing as a TUSC candidate in Grimsby. Here, the Labour councillors don't just behave like Tories. The councillor I'll be standing against, Matthew Brown, actually tried to join them. The only reason he's still wearing a red rosette is because the Conservative Party rejected his application. I'll be standing so that people of Grimsby have an opportunity to vote for the anti-austerity at the ballot box. I'll be standing to say no to the cuts, whoever makes them, and I'll be standing to support Jeremy Corbyn against the Red Tories desperately waiting to stab him in the back.
I'm standing for TUSC because I believe young people in Waltham Forest and everywhere else deserve better. Because I want representatives in the council chamber who are fiercely determined to fight for a future for youth, as all those young people who mobilised to support Corbyn did last year.
The Socialist Party stands for a future worth fighting for. We stand for a £10 an hour minimum wage without youth exemptions. We stand for a new EMA, the grant for college students to help them fund their studies. We stand for an end to zero-hour contracts and insecure work. We stand for rent control and mass council house building. We stand for free education at every level of study. We stand against racism, hatred and division, for solidarity and working class unity.
We stand for socialist change. 8 billionaires currently control the same wealth as half the world's population. Capitalism only works for the tiny and rich few. We want to take the wealth of the 1%, to nationalise not just the railways and utilities, but the vast monopolies which currently dominate the economy and by extension the lives of millions. We fight for democratic, working class control over resources and the economy so that we can build a society that works in the interest of the millions and not just the millionaires.
A vote for TUSC is a vote for resistance. It is a vote for building a movement. It is a vote to defy the Tory rule, and in that sense, It is the most powerful way in which we can use our vote to back Corbyn's policies at this election.
So where you can, please vote for TUSC, but don't stop there.
The Socialist Party is a fighting organisation all year round. We are embedded in local communities, trade unions and campaigns, and we struggle for every improvement that could be won for working class and young people. And we don't give up when elections are over, because we know there is nothing inevitable about austerity, poverty, racism or war. These are the consequences of a society organised to meet the demands of profit, not the needs of the people. And because we're socialists, we believe that things can be different.
So if you agree, and if you want to help us fight for socialist change, we urge you to join us, to get involved, and to help us build the fight back today.